Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. In today's reading, we are going to be tuning into the angelic realm to receive some messages and information. So we have 3 piles to choose from. I'm going to get your significator cards real quick to help you choose which pile is for you. Pile number 1. And I'll hold these up to the camera so you can see these. Pile number 2. One card for pile number 2. And pile number 3, please. One card for pile number 3. Okay. So for pile number 1, you have the Halls of Learning with Butterfly. Just choose whichever pile is speaking to you most. For pile number 2, we have Orion Activation with Bumblebee. And for pile number 3, we have the Ancestral Realm with the Frog. Alright, so pause the video if you need more time to meditate. The timestamps will be in the description box below. And I will see you all at your readings. Welcome, pile number 1. This is your reading. You chose the Halls of Learning card with the butterfly. So pile number 1, immediately the angels are saying you are going through a transformation at the moment. And this is confirmation from them that yes, you have done some healing work, you've overcome some lessons in your life, and now you're about to be receiving some more information, more guidance, more awareness. Yeah, with this Halls of Learning card, we have spirit guides, confirmation, and great lessons. So you might be receiving a new spiritual teacher coming into your life soon. Usually when we master a level of learning on our karmic wheel of lessons, and when you finally master one of those lessons, you move on to another cycle of healing and work and studying. And so right now you might be in the transition of a cleansing period at the moment. At the time of this reading, we are in the equinox. So you might be right now clearing your karmic board, having learned some lessons, you've passed this class, and now you will be receiving more information, new classes, new teachers, new guides, and stepping onto a new path. So that's great. That's good. Congratulations. We have focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. Yeah, there's a shifting of perspective, maybe a shift in your heart that's taken place at the moment. Look at that woman feeding the dragon. It's so pretty. Choose love again. You always have a choice as to what you should do. As in, we have a lot of focusing on the heart chakra at the moment, and this cleansing, healing period that you're going through at the moment. Be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. Okay, so there's something in the past that you've healed, something that you've overcome, and we have the pyramids here. So this is an old cycle that you've been incarnating into many, many times on planet Earth. And with the love here, I feel like it's been through relationships, a lot of karmic lessons through relationships, and finally coming to the place where you know how to love yourself, you know your worth, you know your value, and you're learning to love yourself and pour into yourself, choosing to love yourself the way that you see yourself, falling in love with yourself and forgiving yourself from any past choices that you may have made that were not for your highest good, or the ways that you allowed other people to treat you out of your love for them. And so right now, your angels are wanting you to focus on what it is you want, to set your mindset to the future and focus on what it is that you do want to create going forward. Maybe it's almost like, what classes do you want to take, when you're starting the new school year? And I haven't been in school for a long time, but actually the way I see it is, we're always learning, we're always growing. We're in Earth school, so we're always constantly receiving lessons, and we're either learning from them, or we get stuck in a cyclic pattern until we figure out the ways to learn the lesson so that we're not repeating the same class over and over again. And so now you're being asked to be in the present moment, no longer needing to look towards the past to give you any kind of resolution or confirmation of where you are now. You have been doing the healing work, you've graduated, and now you're moving forward on the path where you can be more focused on your present, which is where we have the opportunity to manifest and create the type of life that you want to be living. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you see planet Earth, looking like for future generations? And we have, I believe you're a star seed, whoever's watching this video, because we have this person who, seems to be on their own, communing with nature. And we have the pyramids in the background with a lot of the celestial planets. And then we have this rainbow light that's surrounding the sun. So there's an activation that's taking place on you right now, where maybe you need some time to isolate yourself away from everybody else at the moment because of this eclipse that we're going through, these major karmic clearing that's taking place. And so at that moment, that's where we need time to rest, we need time to cut cords, we need time to reassess where we are on the path and where we want to go moving forward. Yeah, and there's going to be an energetic upgrade that takes place too, so that also requires you to take some time out. But it feels like you've had an epiphany or a major breakthrough sometime recent. Yeah, we have the crumbling. What are you clinging to? There's a tower, the old ways of being and believing, and old programming that you have in there. There's just this clearing that's taking place. An old foundation, something that you believed. When we get the tower, and essentially that's what this means. It means that something that we've held on to or believed is no longer serving us, and it's falling away. And sometimes that can be very, very difficult, because there can be people in our lives that we need to let go of. It's the end of a relationship. It can be the end of a job, or just coming to a dead end with a person, a place, or our time. People in our lives, or situations where it's time for us to move on and let go of these old ways of doing and being are no longer serving us, so that we can move forward. So there's this big change and big shift that's taking place for you right now. We have reflection. Good. So yes, it's taking that time out to reassess before we move forward on the path, so that we're not recreating the same situation, the same, hologram illusion for ourselves over and over again, with different people, just, repeating situations. Like, you ever find yourself like, oh my goodness, how many times do I have to go through the same type of situation? And it's because there's something that needs to change. If you're constantly responding in a certain way every time you receive the same situation, you're going to get the same results. So it's making those subtle shifts, subtle gestures, subtle attitudes, perceptions, just try working the angles around a little bit and do something different than what you've been doing, so that you can get a different result. Okay. We have achievement. Keep focused on your dream. So we have a dream that you want, a goal that you want to achieve, pile number one, and your angels, they want you to focus on this, of what it is that you're holding on to within, because whatever is within us is what we're going to see reflected in the earth plane. So whatever is within our hearts, we're going to see that manifest in the physical dimension. And that's how you know when you still have patterns and karmic relationships, because you keep experiencing these painful, toxic relationships, because your relationship with yourself isn't very healthy. And so that you need to do some internal reflecting to understand why you are attracting these same people in your life, and there's something in you that they're drawn to, and it's a lack that you have about yourself, a feeling, an observation that you have that is not correct, and you need some time to take some time out to understand who you are and why you believe the things that you believe about yourself, and why do you believe them. And a lot of times it's because there's been people in our life that we hold dear to our hearts, and as children, as young people, we seek their approval, and when we aren't met with the approval, we keep trying to change who we are till we get their approval, and essentially you don't even know who you are because you're trying to be something for someone else. And so you need to understand that you don't need anybody's approval but your own, and when you become completely secure in that, and that those who are meant to be in your life and love you and truly do love you, they're going to love you regardless. And it's getting to that place that's essentially going to help you like achieve your goal and attract those right people into your life, so that you're not on a foundation that's based on, falseness and illusion of trying to be somebody that you're not, trying to fit in, trying to get some people's approval, and they're going to approve. They still don't even approve who you're trying to be, because you're not really being yourself. And then coming to that space where, do you really want a relationship with somebody who doesn't value who you really truly are? The good, kind person that you are, just because, maybe you dress a certain kind of way, or you love a certain kind of way, you wear your hair a certain kind of way, or you want a job that's in this field. You know what I mean? True people who love you and are supportive of you, support all your decisions, even if they don't agree with them. They understand that you have to go do these things for yourself, and you have to learn these lessons for yourself. And sometimes you're meant to live your life that helps inspire and teach others, by being who you are. So you repressing like things that are like your true self, your unique, authentic self, is not serving anybody. It's not even serving you truly. So your angels want you to get in there and understand who you really are, and send that love into your heart, and to open your heart and expand your heart. But also set those healthy boundaries for anybody who's not appreciating who you really are. And we have this achievement with focusing on your dream. Your guides are saying, like, you have achieved a certain level of healing and awareness and understanding. You've been doing your work, you've been evolving, you've been growing, and this may have been something that you've had to go through recently, and this is where you've come on the path where you find yourself now, is achieving the growth from this karmic lesson of understanding who you really are, and not trying to be anything for anybody else, other than yourself, and learning to love yourself and to pour into yourself. And when you do that, you create such a ripple effect, and that is your gift and your offering, is to be who you really are and shine that light, not to cater to everybody else's needs, but to know your own needs and know who you really are, so that you can ultimately achieve your purpose of why you even incarnated in the first place. We have the phoenix rises into joyful abundance. Just saying that, yeah, some of you, either this is the new cycle you're stepping into, or this is the cycle that you are evolving out of, and this is the new version of yourself, and you're stepping onto that path of becoming who you really are. Cleansing that old version of you, and letting that old version of you die, in a sense, so that the new you this new perspective, this new beginning can rise up and begin. We have fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Yeah. Age and there's a lot of wisdom. You have a lot of wisdom, pile number 1. When we go through these experiences, how I have learned is like, you can have knowledge about something, but to experience it, that's where you get the wisdom. Because you can research, but if you haven't walked that path, you know, and have that experience under your belt, like, you can only talk about it. You can't truly know it. And to know it is to experience it. And the experience is where we gain the wisdom of it. So having gone through this experience, you're going to receive all the wisdom to help you on the path going forward, so that you can see your evolution of having gone through all these trials and these challenges and these experiences. You are extracting the wisdom from those experiences and then letting the rest go. Everything that's no longer serving you, all these old conversations, these old arguments, just the toxicity. It's time to let that go. Maybe do some cord cutting, or sacred water rituals where you're cleansing and clearing your energetic field of any of those lower frequencies, so that you can let them go and anchor yourself into this new version of you, so that you can grow where you are now in the present moment. We have Soul Giraffe. Yeah, you have this higher perspective now, this new vision where you can see things. It's like getting this vantage point because you've gone through this lesson. And so if we have the staircase of life, right, and as we learn lessons, we go up another level on the staircase. And as we continue to evolve and grow up the staircase, we end up getting this higher vantage point, and we can see things from a higher perspective than somebody who's starting out on this level, and as we each grow, we each get more and more lessons, and we get more and more perspective. And then our perspective not only raises, up higher in frequency, but also expands outward, so that we can see things as a whole, complete picture, versus just, this narrow vision. Everything starts to expand as much as we expand, so our awareness gets to be a lot, larger than our single pointed mind, where we can only see things from this lower vibration. As we get higher up on the ladder, we can see, more across the field. We can see higher and wider. All right, let's see. We have Earth Angel. Stay rooted and grounded. Yeah, there's a new version of you that needs to, earth in and ground into the root chakra. So this is definitely work on that root chakra. Take some time out to rest, connect with Mother Earth, tap into your heart chakra, and ground these higher perspectives into your physical life. Sometimes what happens with a lot of spiritual people, we can get a little too addicted to the spiritual realms, and we don't really connect into our physical body, because physical earth, earth here, it's very difficult place to navigate. There's a lot of negative energies, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of worry, there's hate, there's this, separation and lying and all these lower vibrational energies. And so it doesn't make us feel safe to be here on earth. And so we can spend a lot of time in our minds and living in the, the upper worlds, versus being here in the present moment, connected to Mother Earth, where we can ground our abilities, ground this vision, so that we can ultimately become this living divine being here on the planet Earth, not, just going about the day, doing the motions, go to work, come home, take care of the kids, go to sleep, and it's that same repetitive pattern where we're not exactly evolving and growing. We're just, feeling like we're committed to this daily grind, versus why we incarnated in the first place as a spiritual being. And we have Spirit Fox. Trust your talents in changing times. So be able to be adaptable to your situations. Because I know that when I first was awakening, it was very difficult to function at like a normal job, knowing everything that I know in the spiritual community. And having to know that everything is just, it's a system and it's set up for us to fail and never really achieve our dharma or our spiritual evolution in any way. There's such a disconnect from the spiritual and the physical world, and it's very hard to navigate, knowing, a lot of people believing into the illusion and just, what is deemed successful and what is deemed as, worthy and true happiness, and that this is how we all should find happiness, is through, this material possession, or through this big house or this big fancy car, and, that's what we're all trying to achieve, and that's what the story they're selling us. And if you don't have all these things, then you will never find your happiness. And that for me is such a BS statement, and that's for people who aren't really connected to themselves. They're not really grounded into their physical body and aware that they can make conscious choices themselves and decide what they see as true worthiness and what they see as truly successful, and what they base their happiness on, and whose approval they're out seeking and why, and understanding themselves and what motivates them, what drives them, versus just, a societal program. And that's when you become more connected and tuned in to who you are, which essentially is what connects you to the spiritual worlds. Okay, so I do have some angel cards. Just want to get us some messages from the angels. Pile number 1. Employment change. Your career path is leading you in higher directions with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you release the old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. So some of you, like I was talking about with my job, you might be, coming to the place where you're not finding fulfillment in the work that you've chosen, or where you find yourself, employment-wise. And there may be some, you might be being inspired or guided to do something that's a little more creative, that ignites, some of your passion and your inner flame. Ooh. You have let go of guilt. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. That's hard for a lot of people, to let go of their guilt and shame for making choices that they've made. And what I want to say is that we're all learning and we're all growing, and we all choose things from the level of awareness and consciousness that we are in at that moment during our life. And for you at that moment, that was your best option. You did what was in your heart was correct. And sometimes we have to go through experiences so that we can achieve the wisdom. Like I was saying, like we have to have the experience in order to have the wisdom. And so we can say, like, oh my goodness, that is so horrible. I feel so bad for you. I completely, empathize with you and have sympathy for somebody. But sometimes we have to go through an experience so that we can truly have that experience recorded in our heart and in our records. Yes, they have gone through this lesson. Check it off the list. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have certain things in order to pass the grade. Like, you gotta have it. You have to go do it. And it's like when you're at work and everything, and these are the things that are on the checklist for you to do, and some of them aren't the, yay, I really want to go clean these toilets. Like, nope, they have to be done, and you got to check it off the list that you did it. It's one of these situations where it's not, everybody's not running around signing up to do this. It's just, you have to go through certain experiences so you can attain the wisdom of having made that choice, so that you understand what it means to make that choice. Okay, so let go of any guilt, let go of any shame that you have in there, that you're holding yourself to this level of being perfect. And we're all imperfectly perfect, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn these lessons. We're here to learn through the world of duality, of having to experience the opposite of what we truly want. And you have to experience the opposite in order to appreciate, you know, its reward, which is, you know, everything that's the opposite of the bad. So you'd have to have that appreciation to truly be open to receiving all that it's worth, you know. Ooh. We have release jealousy. Jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire you rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. That's right. Like I was saying, the world wants us to, you know, see certain things as successful and other things as not. And you have to really get in there and assess what do you see as worthy and successful and truly valuable, you know, because some people can have all the money in the world and be completely lonely, be very bitter, and, you know, just always seeking happiness through things and, you know, never really finding it. And there's always, you know, we always have a perception that somebody else has got it easier than us, but unless we've walked in their shoes, we truly have no clue what somebody else is going through and been through and what they yearn for, you know? So release that sense that anybody has it better than you, which can be hard, I know, because especially when you feel like you've had to suffer and work hard for everything that you get, but there's programs in there that make us feel that that's how we have to navigate through this world. And when you start getting in there and understanding your own personal programming, like what do I truly believe about this world and why do I believe that and where did it come from? Because children don't see things that way. Children see things as, you know, there's always enough, there's abundance. You know, we're never worried about how we're going to get fed and where our clothes are coming from. You know, they're just provided for us through our parents. And until we start to understand and we hear things like, oh, there's not enough money, oh, we don't have enough, oh, we're poor, oh, we got to work hard for everything we get, you know, everything's not just given to us, that kind of stuff, that belief system, you know, it makes us believe things through those eyes because of their experience. But when we start understanding we have the ability to program ourselves, and if you believe that abundance is around us everywhere, you know, the earth provides everything for us. And when you live from that space of, you know, I could have shelter if I wanted to go build me a shelter outside. You know, there's plenty of monads, indigenous people who live off of the land. And essentially, if you had to do that, you could. And so you would be provided with shelter, water, rain. You could forage for food. You know, there's an abundance of it. There's an abundance of air, abundance of trees and leaves, and finding those simple things to fill yourself with that gratitude. And that's how you start opening this channel to receive everything that you're worthy of, because you start seeing the world as a place of abundance instead of seeing the world as a place of lack. Because if you believe our world is, and you are lackful, then that is a belief system and you will see it in the reflection in the world around you. But if you believe that the world is an abundant world and everything is always provided for me, and you stay in that place of gratitude, thank you so much for everything I receive, and then working on mantras like I am worthy, I am successful, I'm achieving all my goals, I am financially secure, I'm financially stable, financially free, things like this. Start working on those mantras and shifting your program, shifting your perspective in that direction, and you will start to see things trickle into the physical world. Everything manifests spiritually in the spiritual realm first, and that's in our mind. And then as we start working, keep holding that focus, holding that perspective, and you keep no matter what you see in the 3D world, what you see on the physical plane, you just keep that focus and you keep that mindset on receiving this abundance, receiving the career choice that you want, receiving your dreams, the stability, this financial security, and you hold on to that. You keep, no matter what, don't hold on to that faith and don't let doubt come in there and distract you. And sometimes it'll try to drag you back down, but keep this higher perspective and this faith, keep this focus, keep connected to your heart and staying in that gratitude mindset, and eventually it will start to materialize in the 3D, and you will start to have these blessings pour into you because you've opened this channel in your heart to receive these blessings by holding your focus and holding this perspective of receiving instead of having to push energy out and doing and working. You're opening this channel to receiving and believing that you're worthy of receiving by staying connected to your heart and saying these gratitude mantras of thank you for these blessings that I am receiving, and not believing that you have to work hard for everything that you do. Is taking that time to nurture your feminine self of being open to receiving and believing that you are good enough to receive. Work with some of the divine feminine energies, opening up your channels to receive. This world is very masculine, and the masculinity energies want us to be doing and working. Okay, way too many. I just need one more card, please. Working, and believing that you have to work yourself to death to achieve success, and you do not. Look at this. We have windfall of abundance. An increase in abundance is arriving in many different forms, some of them unexpected. Be open to receiving and know that this abundance comes to you to support your life purpose, health, and charitable work. Beautiful synchronicity there. Pile number 1. Your angels want you to work on your divine feminine energies through this new cycle here, and tuning into the energies of receiving and being open to receiving and being guided to the next steps to take. You're being asked to shift jobs, shift forms of employment, finding something that's more that gets you more energetic and more passionate about what you're doing, something that you tap into your creative abilities of what you really want to do. Let go of any guilt or shame or jealousy you have towards anybody else. Sometimes we can feel like we're behind other people. Maybe we're not as successful as other people at the same age as us, and your angels want you to let that go. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody has different lessons, and they come about their life at different times in their life. So focus on yourself, on your goals of where you're trying to move towards, moving ahead, and stay open to receiving all your blessings, to being guided by the angels. Have trust, have faith, surrender, let go, and just live each day with, today, I'm going to do this, and find a way to balance, I'm not saying go out and go quit your job, but it's time for you to move forward in some way, and where you can navigate between who you are in your spiritual self and trying to merge this physical part of you so that they can both exist and unify in the life that you're leading right now, so that you can enjoy who you are as a spiritual person in the spiritual community and bring that to, the physical plane as you're offering on the 3D. How can you use your talents and your gifts and your inspirations to help serve the collective, and having that mindset? What do you enjoy doing that you're very good at that may help serve? And it may, not necessarily bring in a paycheck, but finding something that you can do that is more, in alignment with who you are as a person versus doing something just for, getting a paycheck. Find something that truly is what you enjoy doing, which isn't always easy, but sometimes you may find that you like something that you didn't even know you liked until you get out there and do it. All right, pile number 1, that is your reading for today. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Please like and subscribe. If so, I'd love to have you back for future readings. You all take care and have a blessed day. 2, this is your reading, the Orion activation. Look at this portal that's opening up for you right now. Pile number 2, we have supernova, recreation, renewal, and rebirth by light. Ooh, And we have the bumblebee, and the bee relates to the light workers who are here on the planet, who are almost like they're a collective who are here to shine their light. And you are somebody, I believe, who was part of this collective. Yeah, you're here to help heal and shift the energies from the duality back into unity, to form this bridge of light here on the planet. And you're going through a big, super shift in your energetic vibration. You're stepping into a new phase, a new beginning. I feel like you're ascending, having done and completed a mission for the collective. You have the heart of the matter. There's more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. We have get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. Wow, look, pile number 2, we have 22 and 44. So there's definitely an increase in your energies, in your level of mastery. And you're very connected to the Ascended Masters and the High Council. Yeah. You work with the Ascended Masters, perhaps the Council of Light. Yeah, you're here to shift a lot of old patterns, to shift the ages. We have Pleiades and Orion, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Okay, so we had this double mission here. So you're here to do a couple of things for the collective, not only to ascend yourself vibrationally, to master the Earth School, but you're also here to help ground in these higher energies here on the plane and serve as a channel that helps uplift and inspire humanity. Like you're here to help shift the energies on the planet so that the energies here on the Earth plane can shift in frequency. So there's an ascension. You're here to ascend, and you're also choosing to stay here and use your ascension energies to help uplift the planet and those who've incarnated on, those who exist here, the humanity of the collective. Yeah, to welcome in this new earth, this golden age of light. We have warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? Yeah, you're here to raise the frequency of the planet, to bring in more of that divine feminine energy. The truth, restoring the truth of the planet, restoring the balance of the planet, of the collective, so that we're not so one focused on the masculine energies. We need the balance of that. We need the feminine energies to come in and restore the balance. And so you might be somebody who feels very connected to the what is it, the rose, the priestess of rosehood, the rosehood of priestess. I think it's the priesthood of the roses. Anyways, the collective of divine feminine ascended masters who are here to anchor in more of the divine feminine energies, the Christ feminine, and restoring those energies back here on the planet so that more balance and unity can be achieved here and grounded and anchored into the collective. Because right now there's been such an imbalance. The feminine energies have been repressed for centuries, and that is why our world is in the state that it's in, because you can't keep using energy the way that it's been being manipulated and abused. And it is to the point where so much of our ecosystem, our bodies, our health nature, everything is so out of balance, and everything is starting to crumble and fall apart. Even the school systems, the education, our the government, our judicial system, everything is starting to collapse, and we're starting to see all the corruption. We're seeing all the illusions and the lies and the secrecy, and just so much that has been hidden from the collective for so long. And we're going to start to see, and right now there's a lot of starseeds that have incarnated here on the planet to help bring in the feminine Christ energies, to restore the balance, to restore the feminine energies back onto the planet, so that there's correct balance. We're not just so focused into the doing and the creating and the using up all of our resources. We actually are bringing in that divine feminine that restores the balance, so that we learn to receive, and we're in communion with Earth. We're not abusing Earth. We start to create more things that are biodegradable, that work with the ecosystem that we have. We're not creating these plastics that can't biodegrade, that are being dumped into our oceans, or projected out in space, that don't break down. We need to work in balance. We need to work in harmony. We need to correct the way that relationships between our cultures, how they need to be in more harmony, how we have less division. We need more community. We need more connectedness versus division and separation. We need more of us all coming together to build that community and working in communion with Mother Earth. And that is what the divine feminine does. She creates that connection. We have protection. So we have some Archangel Michael here right now, and he is saying you are highly protected. Especially we have Archangel Michael coming through, saying that you are highly protected on this mission of what you're here to achieve, and whether you realize it or not, you have been guided along your mission. You have liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. We got that peace dove here with this enlightenment halo. So you have definitely completed a cycle, and with this Orion activation, I feel like you have achieved this self-mastery within. We have created that unity of heart and mind, and you're now coming from your heart space and bringing in this beautiful divine Christ energy here onto the planet. And your heart is so big, and you have achieved and restored this innocent heart. And when we exist from that space, that is when we are with communion with Source, where we are given that ability to help co-create this new Earth on the planet, to help create the new Earth, to help shift into that new frequency. Cut away what's no longer needed for you. Yep. Here to create those shifts, so that the tree of life can be restored, or we don't have to worry about this tree that can't sustain itself, We have the Shaman Master. Be grateful in movement and action. I love this. And we have this praying mantis here, which is a very high dimensional entity. The praying mantis I believe they are a 9th dimensional being. And they have such a high perspective and this intuitive energy. They are very expanded in their third eye and telepathic abilities. So there is a lot of expansion that's going to be taking place for you in your third eye and your crown chakra. And so you have this snake here, this Kundalini rising. So there's a definite upgrade in your feminine energies at the moment, and your psychic abilities are going to be enhanced. Yeah, and you have such an ancient wisdom to pile number 2. We have great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. Yeah, you're here to help, to teach others. I mean, look at this. We have the Shaman master and great teacher. And we have the dove coming in twice. There's a lot of peace. You have a lot of peace in you. And it's this return to innocence where you create from your heart space. You know, you've overcome and done so much through many, many incarnations. You've been here a long time. You've been working with creating and releasing yourself from these karmic energies for generations, many, many generations. And you've now created this tree of life where you can leave behind this legacy of light. Like, you've done the work. You have achieved this liberation and freed yourself from incarnating into these karmic patterns, these karmic relationships. You no longer have to do that. You are ascending. This is your, I feel this is your final incarnation, pile number 2. Yeah, you no longer have to incarnate onto planet Earth. You have done the work. You have shifted these energies. And now you are blessed with the ability to help teach others, and to help guide other people who are awakening onto their journey and onto their path. And that's part of your mission. Ooh, we have the Lord. Take charge and authority. Look at this. Mastering. You have mastered the ego, of course. Whenever you do this level of achievement, you have definitely tamed your ego and are in harmony with the masculine and femininity within. And so this Lord card, take charge with authority. Yeah, you're one of the chosen to help be a leader for this new earth. You're here to guide other people. You have this blessing, this wisdom, this perspective that you have about the world. Yeah, you might be somebody who's chosen to be, somebody that speaks out against the injustice, that leads the way for other people. You're here to, communicate and express something. I feel pound number 2. There's something that you're here to teach, something you're here to share with others. Heart of the matter, align life's pool, align life's pathways through the heart. This beautiful connection that you have to Source. You are being asked to be, I want to say, like an earth ambassador, somebody who's in charge, who's a leader for the new earth. You're here to guide and teach others, to build community, things that last for generations, things that will continue on even after you pass. It'll be something that, gets set into place, like new structures, new belief systems, new ways that we function here on the earth plane, through a state of balance of giving and taking, and not just taking. We have to understand how to work in balance and harmony. Congratulations, pile number 2. You've done a lot of work, and you have a lot of guides with you right now. A lot of ascended masters, a lot of the angels from the angelic realm. We have Archangel Michael standing right here saying that you are highly protected in the spiritual plane. You're definitely known by many of the ascended masters. You yourself could be an ascended master who incarnated here to bring your wisdom, to share truth, to share your knowledge with the how to say this politically correct, with the humans, with those who seem to still be trapped in the illusions. You're here to shine your beautiful bright light, to waken them up. And sometimes it needs this brilliant bright light to snap people awake, to waken them up out of their darkness, because they can be so stuck in their shadows and in their pain that, they haven't found any truth in this world. They haven't found, love, or something that they can look up to, or that they inspire to be, or something that truly feels, authentic, and that gives them hope, that they are worthy, and that they are loved and seen, and that's really what most people want. And you are somebody that gives people that. You make them feel that, and there's an energy that you have that people can just, they feel your presence. You feel like an angel. You feel peaceful. And that has not been easy to achieve and to attain. Get some messages from the Angels for you, pile number 2. Any more messages? Donations, tithing, and charitable work. Give joyfully to the organization and people who spiritually support and inspire you, and know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, or other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. Your angels are saying just to give for your heart. All the blessings that you give to others will be returned to you in so many different forms. And some people believe that you should charge for your work or your spiritual blessings that you give everybody. And to a degree, I definitely understand that mindset, but I have shifted the way that I perceive things. Sometimes I see things as if everything comes from a place of abundance and the realm of abundance, then truly we shouldn't worry about how our return comes to us, just to be open to receiving those returns, but in whatever form it comes in, because sometimes we may limit ourselves by asking for money, because not everybody has the extra income to pay for, healing and wisdom and information and guidance. And, just sometimes it's the small things that mean so much to so many people. And it's so hard for you to feel like you want to charge somebody for giving them hope and giving them faith. It's sad, but at the same time I understand that, everybody's has worked hard to achieve certain things in their life, and if this is your job and, you're a therapist, then yes, you should be paid for your time, and I completely understand that. But I believe there's certain things that you do out of the kindness of your heart that you don't expect things in return. You just know that you were there in that moment to give this offering and to bless someone with this beautiful, word or perception that you have, and that should be something that is given from your heart. But I do understand also that certain things, you should be able to ask for an offering in return, and to expect the exchange of energy in that way. Ooh, we have abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment. And that is what you will experience. I agree. So what you always want to say, not always, but for me, I always wake up, with the mindset of gratitude. Thank you so much for my financial liberation. I am free. I am financially free. I'm abundant. You can say I am a millionaire. Thank you so much for all of my prosperity. Abundance easily finds me. In the morning, I always lead with gratitude. And then in the evenings before I go to bed, I always end with gratitude. And when I walk around the day, I notice the abundance that is everywhere around me. The abundance of leaves and the air and the sunlight and the space to grow and the love that's in my life, all those types of things that you can find simple things like that aren't even simple. I mean, it's really, they are blessings, and we should hold on to them. And it should be a day-to-day acknowledgement that we have of what we have. Detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your association and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. Yeah. You know, it's hard because sometimes, you know, you can have a certain idea, belief system, and then you're around people who are very negative, and it can kind of, you know, affect your energy level some. So while not always are we able to escape people, but try to protect your energy and your focus from their lower vibrations and their, you know, their programming. We have gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of focused on worries in your mind. What and who you are grateful for. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude, and you'll discover the amazing generosity of this universe. I was saying that pile number 1, you may have either come from pile number 1 or have a message for you in pile number 1, because pile number 1 was definitely about staying in your heart space of receiving, and your guides are reconfirming this message for you as well, to stay in your heart space of focusing on your gratitude. And the more you can be grateful and be in that gratitude, it keeps you in the present moment of acknowledging everything that's here right now in your life. And the more you focus on the present moment and then this gratitude in your heart, you end up manifesting really quick because you're in the present moment. You're not worried about the future. You're not focused on the past and worried about the past or regretful of the past. You're actually living in the present time, which is where we have more ability to create and manifest, because we are focused on the here and the now, and staying in your heart space and staying in a mindset of gratitude will help bring those blessings in quicker for you. Pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope this resonates. Please take what does and leave the rest. Thank you so much for being here on my channel. Thank your angels, the angelic realm, for this message today. I'm very happy for you, pile number 2, for all the work that you've done to ascend, to get yourself to the level that you're at, and for everything that you're going to bring forward to this planet, and everything that you have done for the collective that is here, and for the star seeds, all the star nations, for all the work that they are doing here on the planet. I'm just forever grateful for all the work that you do and will continue to do. So y'all have a blessed day. Take care. I'd love to have you back for future readings. Please like and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Welcome, pile number 3, to your reading. You chose the ancestral realm with the frog. Ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries. Okay. With the frog animal spirit, you know, frogs, they're born in the water and then they evolve into the earth plane, and they go through a metamorphosis, and I feel like that is what you are going through right now, that you are healing, you're overcoming something that has been in your life for several incarnations, been passed down generationally in your family, and there's something that has to do with, you know, your emotional self, your emotional body, and now you are ready to move forward and ground in this new path, a new beginning for yourself, a new beginning that's going to be very sustaining for generations to come. So there's something that you have done some healing work on, some kind of karmic connection that is within your family, and you're stepping through this portal, this archway here, and you're going to be receiving and activating new DNA strands because you have done the work. You've been doing a lot of healing on yourself in whatever pattern that has been being passed down generationally. So let's get in and see what other information we have about this shift that you're going through. We have like attracts like. If you're longing for more love in your life, then you need to be more loving. Okay. So I see this is a young little angel here. So there's something from your childhood that you may have healed or experienced, something, you know, unfortunately, that came from childhood, because this is what it also happened in your parents' childhood, I'm sure, that has been passed down generation. Maybe there was a lack of love, a lack of nurturing, a lack of connection, where maybe there was a part of your innocence a little bit. Yeah, we have another child here. Have patience. Love is patient, kind always. Maybe you have healed a version of yourself that maybe felt like you were unworthy or unlovable. Yeah, there may have been a certain situation that made you feel, you know, less than or not as important, and, you know, maybe weren't given the guidance and the nurturing that you needed when you were going through something that was very difficult in your childhood and your youth. Oops, I just dropped the card. And unfortunately, you know, as children, it's hard for us to communicate our emotions and to share how we feel or what we're going through, because we don't even really understand our emotions, and we don't understand everything that we see and that we're experiencing, because a lot of times our parents, they don't quite communicate with little kids, you know, adult problems and adult situations, because they wouldn't understand. But sometimes our inner child, the younger version of ourself, will hold on to this belief, this perspective, for a long time, all the way up into adulthood, until we get, you know, some kind of perspective where we ourselves can go in and shift the way that we perceive the situation and bring more awareness and maturity to our inner child, or we have a communication with that individual that our memory, our challenge and trauma is from, and we get more clarity and more perspective. But it takes doing that healing work in order for us to heal and grow. And sometimes we don't have, you know, that person in our life that where when we experience the pain and trauma, to give us perspective. So that's why it is very essential that if we don't get it from them, we get the clarity from ourselves. You know, we try to understand the situation from a different perspective, and that is where our healing and our growth comes from. We have protection, call back your power, cut the cords, and soul retrieval. Okay, so yes, some of you put in your boundaries, you have cut the cords to the past, you have given this clarity, this healing to your inner child. Like we were saying, you have healed something that has been a generational thing for the children growing up and being raised in these programs and these, you know, perspectives of how to live and how to love and how to, you know, just be and exist. And you have said, nope, it ends with me. I'm no longer bringing this forward into the generations. I'm going to correct this pattern. I'm going to shift this belief system, because that's not true for me. I don't see it that way. This is the way that I believe love should be, and how love should feel, and how children should be nurtured and taken care of. And you choose to do different and better than what you received. You know, not everybody has the strength and the courage to do that. Some people just pass it on. They didn't receive a lot of love, so they don't have a lot of love to give. They ended up receiving a lot of pain, so they only have pain to give. And understanding that you can make that choice, that you can be strong and you can face that fear of not being good enough and that fear of not being worthy, and pour into yourself and give that love to yourself. And essentially that means that you have more to give to others. You put yourself in the position where they were damaged and they did what they could do, and now I'm going to do what I can do. And it takes generations before they get the reincarnation of a stronger soul to create more change in that family lineage. And so you're a very strong, evolved soul that has come into this family to bring in this change, to bring in this love, to shift these patterns, and to create a foundation that is more balanced and filled with more love and compassion and understanding. Again, we have this determination. That is you. You are this wise old soul that was born into the family that you were born into to bring in this wisdom, to bring in this beautiful bright light and this big beautiful love and innocent love that you have from these higher dimensions of love and purity and innocence. We have Zen Garden, Inner Sanctuary. Look at that. You are bringing that healing into your family lineage. You're restoring that innocence where a child's able to be a child and live from a place of feeling safe. They're not worried about, am I going to get yelled at today? What trauma's going to happen today? Am I going to be alone today? Am I going to get food today? Those kinds of things like that. Ooh, is mom or dad going to come home in a bad mood and yell at us? What's my punishment? Am I going to get beat? Things like that, and it's very, very sad that this is what has gone on for generations and generations, But you have done the healing work. You've restored healing to your inner child and just poured in that love and this, have patience, be kind, love yourself, constantly pour into yourself, pour into your cup and fill your cup with your own love. Not everybody knows how to love us. Nobody truly understands what our needs are. We have to understand what our needs are in order to ask, somebody else to meet our needs. Especially if we are looking for, setting those healthy boundaries and being able to speak up for yourself and saying, that it's not okay for you to talk to me like that. It is so disrespectful. I deserve more respect. I deserve you to give me the same type of love that I give you. I would never treat you that way, especially if you're somebody who says they love me, and to pay attention to people's actions versus their words, because people can say a lot, but their actions are completely the opposite. And that's really where they're functioning from, is through the action. It's not through their words, it is through their actions. So if they're saying I love you, but that they're running around and cheating on you, or they're talking to people online, then no, they don't really mean it. If you're somebody who has this big heart and you're very forgiving of somebody, you understand people can make mistakes and you allow them, to make a mistake because we're all human, but then they continually do it over and over again and you keep forgiving them. Like, that is not serving you. It is actually making you feel less and less worthy and deserving, and it's creating more pain for you. They're just learning that, oh, they always forgive me. I can do whatever I want, because they're too afraid to leave. They're too afraid to be alone, or they can't get anybody, or they don't think they can get anybody better than me. And you end up getting stuck in this loop and this pattern and in this traumatizing, toxic relationship, and you're better and more deserving of that. And sometimes this is what we were taught in our youth by, if our parents are in a toxic relationship and maybe they were forced to get married, or they only got married for money, or they only got married because they were pregnant, and they weren't married off of the foundation of love, then we're going to witness that relationship and base our life on, well, this was how I was shown love looks like, And nowadays with television and, social media, there's so many versions of love out there that you can get a different idea of what live love can look like and not be just restricted to your childhood. You can see, wow, like they really do love each other and they respect each other and they never talk to each other that way. They can have an argument and disagreement, but that's all it is. It can be a disagreement. It doesn't mean that I hate you and I never want to talk to you and we always have to think the same things, and if we don't, then there's a problem and an issue. And it's having respect and a healthy connection to yourself that essentially creates that healthy connection in another relationship with another person. But it all starts with you and the connection you have to yourself. We have peace, dissolving unwanted or disturbing thoughts. Yeah, connect and tap into who you are and learning who you are, not allowing anybody else's perceptions, anybody else's belief systems, dictate yours. You have to be the one who's in control. You have to be the one who masters your thoughts and your feelings, because you understand them. You've met them. You've brought light into the situation. You've faced your shadows. You've faced your fears, and you understand them. You've healed them, so they can no longer be used against you. You've brought this healing into your family and into yourself. You decide to wake up, or why else did you draw me? Yeah, you came to bring healing, and you brought that healing into the family, into yourself. Look at all this love, this light we have. We have the sun on here at least 3 times now. You have brought in this healing perspective into your heart, and essentially will be in your family lineage, because you have done the work. You've shifted a program and a belief system within, and when you do that, like, the old version of you dissolves so that the new version of you can step into their full power, and you are then able to see things from a whole new perspective. And you can see when somebody's got that same old energy, that toxic behavior and negative energy. You can spot it like a mile away, and that's how you know when you have, you've moved on from those lessons, you've passed the test, you've aced that class, and you no longer have to put up with those relationships anymore. Oops. We have the hero of your cosmic journey. Look at that. Yeah, you know your truth, and you're able to stand in your authenticity now, and you have no problem putting up those healthy boundaries. You can still love somebody and have love for someone, even though they're acting out of their negative ass behavior and their toxicness. You can love them at a distance. I don't hate you, but you can't be this close to me in my heart. Like, I have to put up a wall to protect myself, because you're not careful with my heart. You'll just stomp it, stab it to death, and cut it open and let it bleed. And because you're only out for yourself. And I thought, you cared about me, and you actually do not. So you're not careful with my heart, and you're not somebody I trust with my heart anymore. So therefore, I'm putting up this boundary. I still care for you, but I care for me more, and be comfortable in that. We have Elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. Yes, I love that. We have this karmic healing, this ascension that's coming in from these, your ancestors are with you, and they are sending you so much love and gratitude for doing this work. They've been waiting for somebody like you to come into the lineage to bring this healing, because essentially the work that you do on yourself brings them healing. So that all the work that they did to help get you to where you are, because everybody who's incarnated into a particular lineage, everybody does some type of healing work. They take on a certain amount of the shadow, and sometimes it can be extremely hard for them to transmute. They don't understand their power fully. It's extremely heavy, and the burden is, too much to bear, and so they can't do it all. And so we need more beings to be incarnated into those families to help transmute the toxic negative energy and the false beliefs and the false programming that's in there, that makes them feel like they aren't loved, and that they aren't worthy, and that they have to repent in order to be loved, instead of just, you're already loved. You're loved just as you are, and there's nothing you can do to not be loved. Source loves us all. There's nothing we have to do to earn love. And that's the thing. Like, you should already be in that space of knowing that you are loved and that you are worthy, and not needing to seek it outside of yourself. You pour into yourself. You love yourself. You give yourself that praise and that high value, so that others will give you that same praise and high value, instead of you seeking it for everybody, from everyone else outside of you. Like, am I worthy? Am I lovable? Am I worthy? Am I lovable? Like, you don't need someone else to tell you that. And unfortunately, we're taught that we should look for outside approval. And that's something we learn in youth, because we're always looking for our parents. Like, can I go outside? Can I do this? And, my behavior. We look to our parents to give us the cues on what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And then as we get to be an adult, we still kind of live from that space. Instead of trusting ourselves and knowing who we are, we look for everybody else to tell us who we are. And essentially, you have done the healing work to be able to stand in your authenticity and knowing your worth and knowing who you are. And if you haven't, that's where you're coming into. We have the Knight, be brave and honest. Yeah, see, we have the Sword of Truth again. So I do feel Archangel Michael here with you, providing some healing and protection while you do this healing work on yourself. For your family, you've done a lot of work. Now we have this blooming that's taking place in your heart space, pile number 3. We have Seer, seeing beyond the current situation. Yeah, you're going to get this activation into the third eye where you can see things. You can see beyond, people's words, and you'll be able to spot like when somebody's lying or when somebody's just not being very truthful and not being very honest. You'll be able to see through their BS. You'll be able to know who is an ally and who's somebody that is trying to, lower your vibration, to turn you against yourself and see yourself in a different light instead of this beautiful, loving person that you are. They're going to try and get you second guessing yourself, and it's like this game that you have to play. And when you know the rules, you can master them and master yourself. And it's really whatever you seed within your mind and in your heart about the world and about yourself, that's going to be what is reflected to you in your reality. We have silencing the mind. Let silence guide you to your inner peace. Yeah. You're no longer going to be having to deal with those, the illusions of the mind that make you feel like you're, this critical mind that has you feeling guilty or shameful for who you are. You're going to find this inner peace because you've met yourself in that place. You've faced your fears. You've healed this inner child, this inner version of you that was looking for love, that was looking for this approval, and you have given it to yourself. And when you do that, you're no longer seeking outside. And that voice starts to become very quiet until eventually you no longer hear it at all. You don't hear, that negative mindset that has you seeing things from a negative space or from a lower perspective. You've gained insight, you've gained your clarity, you know your truth now. And we have free will. Get out of your cocoon. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So you're stepping into a new phase, into this new beginning that is going to be blessed with so much love, so much light, so much peace. People who see you, people who support you, people who validate you, and all the hard work that you've done. Not in the sense that you need their approval, but it's this, you will find people who value you, because you've learned to value you. You've learned to set in these boundaries. You've learned to put yourself, it's like on a pedestal, but in a humble way. It's not having this big ego of, that can be very, it can turn people off when somebody is very egotistical. And you're not that person at all, but you do have to see your value and your worth and not settle for less than that. Not settle for somebody to treat you the way that you have been, tolerating longer than you should have. Ooh. And get some angelic messages. We have, it is safe for you to receive. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. Yeah, this is tapping into that feminine energy of opening your heart to receive all the blessings from all the hard work that you've done. From open yourself to receive love that is worthy of you and that you're worthy of, that equal give and take relationship. And it has to You know, when you believe that you are deserving and that you are worthy, it opens up a channel of receiving energy of the divine feminine versus the masculine energy of giving to others and doing for others so much. It's time for you to open up the channel of receiving, of pulling in the energy of being, you know, being loved, being worthy, of receiving, you know, abundance, of receiving blessings and all those energies that come with being in the feminine energy of the receptive one. It's time for you to be receiving of those and not being the one who's giving all the time. We have clearing debts. Your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. I love this beautiful rainbow flying horse here. Definitely continue to pour into yourself, pile number 3, and loving yourself, letting go of any fears that you have about support and feeling support. Know that you're going to be supported. The more you open the channels to receive, it brings in these blessings. It brings in this abundance. It brings in all the, you know, your dharma that's meant for you. All the deposits that you've made into your account for doing all these good deeds and this good work. You're now going to be able to get some withdrawals, right? So you've done enough deposits, and now it's time for you to be withdrawing your blessings and to let go of anything that's no longer bringing in that joy, bringing in that love, bringing in support. It's time to let everything go. That is just, you know, I don't need to deal with this. I don't know why I'm still doing this. You know, out of my fear of, you know, being seen in a certain kind of way. And it's like time for you to let go of all that. You don't need anybody's approval but your own. And if it's something that's not bringing you, you know, happiness, let it go. Organize for success. And the more you can let things go, the more things can come into your life that's meant to be in your life versus these things we're holding on to that, you know, out of fear. It's time to let them go so that the things that are meant to be in your life, there's space for them. We have organize for success. That's hilarious. Do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts and your reports for living and workspace and your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. That's awesome. So for the organizing for success, it is letting go of things that are no longer going to serve you, what can move forward with you going forward, what's going to be very beneficial, what's going to lend to this new beginning that you're stepping into, and what's just going to be more of a hassle in the end, you know. And if you are starting, you know, a new job or a new relationship or just beginning somewhere new, go ahead and start writing down the steps. You know, what's the first thing I need to do, and in doing that I need to make sure I can do X, Y, and Z, you know, and just start your, you know, it's almost like getting it out of your mind and on the paper so that you can have a clear perspective of, you know, everything, because sometimes that also helps. It's like planning a trip. You know, you want to write everything down that you need to bring so you don't forget anything, and because if you don't write it down, then you will forget something essentially. It always happens. So definitely try to do that. That way you can see it on paper, and it just helps you plan a little bit better. One more card for pile number 3, please. One final message for pile number 3 from the angels. Okay, we have deservingness. Oh, perfect. You are a beloved child of God, like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus on your divine life purpose. Even if you can't yet recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you truly are. Oh, pile number 3. You are deserving. Fill your cup. Pour into yourself. Give yourself all that love, all those good energies of worthiness and deservingness, so that you can open those channels to receive all your blessings that need to come in with you, and ask to receive your blessings, because you're opening yourself up to be able to receive now. Because there can be blessings that have just been storing away, but you've been in the mindset and in a pattern of having to do for others and feeling less than and not feeling worthy and not feeling good enough and supported. And now, having shifted the energies and shifting your perspective, doing this healing work, you can open up that channel to receive all the blessings that have been trying to come into you, that you have denied and that you maybe didn't feel that you were, worthy of receiving. And now, because you've done this healing work, you can open up those channels to receive all these blessings that are coming in for you, because you are worthy and deserving of them. Pile number 3, sending you lots of love. Thank you, angels, for being here with me today. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope this reading resonates. Please take what does and leave the rest. I'd love to have you back for future readings. Thank you for all your like and subscribes, and I'll see you guys again soon. Y'all take care.